and follow us on Instagram. Shop Melvin Online Women's Boutique.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin.
Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go, why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Q Time is our classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
What up, fam? What it do? What it do? What it do? Running a little late, working a little hard. Y'all know how it is. This is Random Thoughts with DVP. Y'all know who I am. I'm the host, DVP. Today is the 9th of March. Time changed this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Did y'all know that? All right. It's 6:30. Running a little late, but we're gonna make it do what it do. There's a few things that's bothering me, along with having to work late, but it's all for a good cause. I'm confused, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I told you this year, part of what we were going to talk about was this insane battle of the sexes. Part of what we're going to talk about is accountability and responsibility. Part of what we're going to talk about is just being better people and acceptance. When you make a mistake, just own up to your mistake, whether it was intentional, whether it was on purpose. Work on being better without being a sore loser. I think that's the appropriate word for what it is that some of y'all are going through. Now, I've been looking at posts and reading and doing what I do. And I'm confused on a lot of fronts. The first front I'm confused on is why? Why is it that we believe in blaming Biden for the gas prices, but you don't blame Obama when they went down after Bush? That confuses me greatly, because theoretically, they should be one and the same. Yes? What do you think? But in our effort to be woke and be conscious and do all this other stuff, we will create a lie, a myth, so that we can live in our falsehood. What's up, Doug? What's up, Doug? You fresh? And to me, that's insanity. What's up, Antoinette? And it ain't, Antoinette, it ain't that they got a short attention span. It's just they got a short span on truth. And, you know, I talked about this a little bit before. We can agree and disagree. We can talk about what I believe, what Doug believed, what Antoinette believed. But when Doug give me a fact, and I asked Doug to tell me where he got it from, and Doug say, go find it, that's insane. Because I look, and I can't find a lot that you talking about. And I'm just using Doug because he's my boy. To make matters worse, what they'll do is they want to screenshot something, which to me is hilarious. Don't screenshot shit. Cite your source. Let me go read it. Let me go read it, and then we can come back and talk about it. It's like when people talk about the crime bill and they talk about Biden. And don't get it twisted now. I'm not advocating for Biden. I don't like a lot of things he did. And I would say, realistically, I'm unhappy. But I was unhappy with 45. I ain't got to be happy. But facts are still facts. Biden had less to do with the crime bill than everybody trying to give him credit for, because it was already said he was one of the few people that could reach both sides. But don't not nan senator ever pass a law. Not one. And when Biden did the crime bill, if we're going to talk realistically, the state he from wasn't having no crime. That was a black thing when that crack epidemic hit. And if you read what it says, the Black Clergy, the Black Caucus, they asked him to do it. But we don't want to talk about that because he's a racist, because of something he said 40 years ago. And this is where information is so necessary. Put everything in its proper context. Most of us have said things that I ain't gonna say we regret, but we weren't in a position where it came to light and could be used against us. So he said some stuff. He had some friends who were questionable, but there ain't no questionable than some of y'all uncles and brothers and cousins. But it's like in an effort to be woke, and I did a whole thing on being fake woke, because these woke people, they making my ass itch. And at the end of the day, gas is more expensive in California all the time than it is in Georgia. Gas just went up $6, $7 in California. It was already $4. We complaining about this, but I would have swore we was talking about how we balling and traveling and we buying $10, $15 cups of coffee. So if you can buy a $15 cup of coffee, why are you complaining about gas? And it's Biden's fault. But remember the last time gas went up and all them execs at Exxon and Mobil and all these other places was getting $100 million bonuses? See, they tell you they could have lowered the price of gas and gave up some bonuses. They didn't. The government does not control gas, but we don't want to hear that, because when the Russian bots / woke people try to tell us what's what, we go with it because it's easy and convenient. But it's a lie. And when you show that to them and you ask a simple question, well, do you give Obama credit for lowering the gas price? Oh, no, they had nothing to do with him. And it's like when gas prices got lowered a couple years ago, only because I pay attention and I've lived in Saudi Arabia. It's because the Saudi prince had a problem. He had an issue with Putin and he wanted to show him up. So he lowered the price just to get on Putin's nerve. That was it. It had nothing to do with the United States. They had nothing to do with 45. Didn't have nothing to do with Obama. Didn't have nothing to do with us being people of color or none of that. He did that just to agitate Putin. But that's neither here nor there. So part of what, is agitating me to the nth degree is all these people who got something to say about nothing. How we make up facts. We create our own dictionary and revamp words to mean what we want and claim, we took the word, we're gonna make it this. Well, see, words mean what they mean. And we are here in America. Even though we use English from England language, that's what we use to communicate. You can't keep changing it to try to make it mean what you want it to mean and think everybody understands your rhetorical dialect. See, and there's research for everything. And it's cool It's cool to want to take the best qualities out of bad people. But say that. Don't just change the whole thing. You know, we're going to take the N word and make it ours, where it's a friendly term. No, it's not a friendly term. I don't care what you put on it, whether you put a at the end, or ER or UH or whatever. It's a negative term. And now we're doing it again. See, my people, some of y'all don't want to read. So you didn't read the book. Let me put my glass on. I want to look educated while I'm talking about reading. You didn't read the book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. So you don't know who Uncle Tom is. So when you say somebody acting like Uncle Tom, you don't realize that that's a good thing. Because you're trying to be disrespectful. But being Uncle Tom is a good thing, because if you read the book, you know Uncle Tom was the one who got beat for slaves, tried to talk massa and the whip. He did all that. Sambo was the one who was betraying him, but y'all don't get that because you didn't read the book. See, I say that to say, now we coming across my new favorite word, simp. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give y'all, because I'm a talented brother. Simp, which is short for simpleton. Let me give y'all the meaning of it. I'm gonna give y'all the dictionary meaning, because I got a computer. A simpleton is a foolish or gullible person. All day long. All day long. That's what a simpleton is, an idiot, a person without much common sense or intelligence. That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, a simp is not a man who takes care of his woman. See, Russell is a simp because he do stuff for Sierra, which is pretty effing stupid. See, Roy ain't gonna come on camera because he's doing something, but he with me in mic and in spirit. But Roy, I'm gonna give you 5 or 6 seconds to get to your mic. What man has a woman that he don't want to do good things for? Can you answer that for me, Roy, right quick?
An idiot.
See, that would make you a simpleton, not want to take care of your woman. So when a man spoils his woman, you know why he does it? Because that is his woman. See, back in the day, I was a maintenance man. We've had these stories. You know, we talked about this. Ain't nothing new. I didn't lead with money. See, some of these dudes, they want to lead with money. They want to tell a woman what all they can do. And then they get mad when that's what the woman go for. Because you ain't got no personality, player. Because if you had a personality, it's really cheap to date. It really is. See, one of the consistent things that I have found out from my studies, from my investigations, from my quizzes, from my talks with people of the opposite sex, women, 99.996% of the time, if they like you, they will have sex with you whether you got money or not. See, on that 99.996% of the time, even if you ain't shit, a woman will lie to herself about you so that she can feel good about what she gonna do. Money is not in the equation when they want to have sex with you. But when you ain't got no game and you walk up to this woman and you start telling her about how you could buy her the finer things in life, how you could take her to a 5-star restaurant, how you could do this, how you could do that, then you get mad and say, oh, women just using brothers to go out on food dates. Well, who asked to go out on this food date? See, that would be the fool. Because there are many dates that you can do that don't involve eating, especially at fine dining establishments where it's gonna hurt your little pocket. See, fellas, and I'm gonna have to do this a little later because right now I just got Doug Antoinette. You can ask a girl to go to the park with you and y'all can sit and talk and do people watch and have some finger foods and some ice cream or a slush or that little $15 cup of coffee. And y'all can talk and see if there's a connection. See, you don't have to pay $130, $200, $500 to see if there's a connection. So yeah, when I see these women talking about they don't understand how somebody can go on a date with less than $300, see, I wouldn't even try to talk to that woman because her mind is made up. She the one who wants something. She's not trying to get to know me. But we are talking about education and enhancement of the Black mindset, because this is where we don't understand things and we hold each other back because our mindset is on being somebody that we're not. And then we get played for a fool. What's the saying? It's easier. What did Frederick Douglass say about it's easier to lie to somebody than to convince them they've been lied to. See, if we start the process, because we know better, so we should do better. If we start the process of understanding one another, understanding how to read, Antoinette says she read for survival, and whatever, as long as you read, get the knowledge. When you want to date, when you want to get into something, know how that something works. See, whether men say it, whether women say it, because we're not going to have a battle of the sexes. When they talk about women ain't shit, men ain't shit, no, your choices ain't shit. Look in the mirror and say how you keep making bad choices. See, whether it's formal education or street education or lack of on-the-job training, this is what's holding us back, because we will listen to other people. Antoinette will say, well, I ain't gonna date DVP because all these other people say DVP is this. Well, you know, there's a meme out that says we can meet the same person and they always be somebody different, because everybody don't have the same effect. So Antoinette could go out with me and Roy. Trina could go out with me and Roy. Trina's Antoinette experience is going to be different because me and Roy are going to treat Trina and Antoinette different. Everybody is not the same. What's going on, Bobby Wilson? And so we have to make better choices. And when those choices ain't good, we have to look in the mirror and see why we made such a bad choice. But we can't blame the choice. We have to blame the chooser. And if we don't want to accept that we make bad choices, we ain't going to never stop making them. See, that's a Black mindset. Because it's easy to say, man, Antoinette ain't nothing. She wasted my time. Well, how did she waste my time? Antoinette don't control my time. I control my time. If I made the bad decision to give Antoinette my time and it turned out to not be fruitful, I got to look in the mirror and say, why did I decide to give Antoinette my time? Why did I decide to give so-and-so my time? I got to look at what I did. What did she do to, well, Antoinette told me she wanted to go to a 5-star restaurant because I kept telling her that's what I could do. Antoinette told me she wanted to wait until she was in a relationship before she got physical. She told me this. So now when me and Antoinette go out, I'm mad because I took her somewhere nice to eat and she didn't want to have sex with me. But she told me that's what she was about. She told me up front. So how is it Antoinette ain't shit now? See, now I'm mad because I thought if I lived with my money, because Roy done told me if I showed her some money, she was gonna have sex with me. I'm gonna blame Antoinette for, I believe what Roy done said. See, and that's where we get into that crazy education, because we're being educated from the streets as opposed to reality. Everybody ain't the same. Bobby says, dating is for 2 or more people to evaluate one another's suitability for a long-term companion or spouse. That my man go. Often, physical characteristics, that should have been all caps, Bobby. Physical characteristics, personality, financial, other aspects are involved. Of the involved persons are judged. As a result, feelings can be hurt and confidence shaken. And that's when you're dating immaturely. Because if we realistic, most of the time, dating starts with physical characteristics. Because most time we see somebody, we don't know a whole lot about them. Very few of us actually meet people, you know, in a setting where we can't judge them physically, where we get to hear what they're saying and like the way they think, like the way they talk. We see something about them because we're visual creatures. So we like that, and that's what we do. And this goes for the fellas right now. So when I see the fellas who always talk about what a woman with a big butt and all this she can do, then you get caught up in the big butt and you make bad decisions. What can she do about her big butt? Nothing. You can start making bad decisions because of big butts, but that will require you to be, what's that word again? Accountable and responsible for your actions. But we don't want to do that. And I see this happening way too many times with both sexes. Both sexes doing this same thing. You falling for this, you falling for some physical characteristic, maybe even a charm. But y'all do know that swindlers are charming. Most serial killers are charming. Most men, they're charming. That's how they get people to come into them. And if we don't want to do the research for ourselves to find out, to get to know them, and we lie so much to ourselves to get to a point. See, me and Roy did a show, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, I don't know how long ago, but we did 2 shows, Mr. Right versus Mr. Right Now, Mrs. Right versus Mrs. Right Now. And it was interesting because a lot of people are under the assumption that both of them are the same thing, and they're not. We don't always want the same things at the same time. Some of us are emotionally unavailable. Some of us are only available with the right connection, as Antoinette says, the emotional connection. But this is what we got to start educating ourselves. Who am I right now, and what is it I want? And y'all know I can talk about me and Trina because it's easy. Me and Trina met. This was never the end goal. This was never the end goal. We were supposed to have dinner. I met her online. I liked her sassiness. I liked her sarcasm and her wit and the way she brought it. I was attracted to her mind because I saw a picture of her, which you can't trust Facebook pictures. And without another picture, because I was traveling, I told her, well, you know, when I come to New York, I like to have dinner with you and just have a conversation. Because as me and Roy talked about, Roy, what's the name for the people when we like people for conversation and they smarts? What is it called?
Sapiosexual.
We're sapiosexual, you know. And me and Roy had a brief fun conversation about it. I'm a sapiosexual, that likes women. I want to be clear on that. I talked to men and had great conversation when there was no sexual connection. So I ain't no sapiosexual in general because words have meaning. I like what I like. You know, me and Roy laughed about that because he likes sapiosexuals, and I had to say, Roy, you like women. So go ahead. What you got to say, sir?
No, I said ditto, and yeah, it's understood that that's what I like.
Right, because the term generically was used by metrosexuals to mean, you know, they don't care about the sex. They just want a mental connection. I ain't mad at your player because that's what the word says. It has nothing to do with the physical. I ain't that much of a sapiosexual. I'm a hybrid. I'm a hybrid sapiosexual. But I know this. So when you're doing things, and it took me a minute to understand, to be true to myself. And like I said, when me and Trina started dating, you know, me and Roy laugh about it all the time. There was no way in hell that I should have been married before Roy. But I found somebody that I connected with, and we built on that connection. And because she stayed 1,000 miles away, we couldn't really expound on the physical connection. So we got to know a lot about each other. We got to know a lot about each other. And we still dated other people because we were both cool with that. But we had a connection about belief systems too. And as Bobby was saying, see, that's one of the things, the uncomfortable conversations people don't want to talk about. They'll talk about finances, maybe, but they don't talk about what they truly believe, whether monogamy, polygamy, whatever. They won't have these open community conversations. You know, we was watching a show where, you know, let me reverse. You know, we always see the little memes about you meet a woman, she does everything, but the sex ain't great. You meet a man, he's great, he does everything, pays attention, takes good care of you, but the sex ain't great. Well, see, in my world, and I'm gonna let Roy chime in because he here, like I said, he ain't gonna be on camera. And Antoinette, you and Bobby and Doug can chime in. You can't be my everything if the sex is lacking. See, you can't get that promotion. As much as I like Trina's mind, she was still down here. As much as I liked her conversations, she was still here. You can't. Everything is great except nah. Because as we discussed purpose priorities, what's up, Robert? as we discuss preferences and priorities, that's a priority with me. It ain't the top, but it's important. You can't be perfect if we ain't crossed that bond. And I think people get so caught up into when they have the sex, they just knock everything else and put them to the top. But what about the other things that are important to you? And yeah, Bobby, dating long distance mean I had to get to know her because we didn't have the physical interrupting us, which is what happens a lot of times in relationships. When you close, the urge hit, especially when you were there. The sex is that's what you're doing the first 5-6 months. You're not getting to know each other. Y'all become sexually attached, not realizing y'all don't really have a lot in common other than good sex. And you waste each other's time, and then you break up, 2-3 years later because y'all had nothing but sex. Y'all can't keep up the beginning. As much as people love it a lot, you can't keep up that same pace. And then things start to fall out because at some point you got to talk. At some point, work hard. DVP work hard. We come home, we don't want to have sex. The missus work hard. She don't want to have sex. So now what we gonna do? Now we look at each other and realize we don't have nothing to say to each other. Because before we were just meeting up having sex and having small talk. Well, small talk don't last forever. What do you do after that part comes? Oh shit, now you gotta get to know them. Well, damn, I like the way she looked. I like the way she smelled. Do you like the way she talked? Do you like her conversation? Is she teaching you anything? Are you learning anything from her? Or is she learning anything from you? But see here again, which is why I don't put what real men and real women do, because everybody is different. Everybody's different. You got to find what worked for you. Bobby, where you watching from? And welcome to the show. Robert, what kind of woman you like? What are you looking for? See, I know people who look for drama. I know people who don't want drama. Roy has already said he need a woman with patience because he don't have a lot of time. And I would say, based on what most women say, that would be an inconvenience right now. So they need to know this. What's up, Travis? They need to know this when dealing with Roy, and Roy needs to be honest about this. See, if Roy tell a woman that he spent a lot of his time building up his network and this is what he's doing, if they're not into that, they should not commit to Roy. Because there are going to be times when Roy, I don't know his work schedule, but I'm assuming that there are times that Roy might be working 16, 17 hours a day. If he's working that long, when he get home, he's going to be sleeping. He going to miss his woman. He going to try to do the best he can, but 17-hour days, bro. You think if you work 17 hours, depending on where you work at, you probably work driving anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. That's another hour, hour and a half. You got shit, shower, shave, and eat. You got 5 hours to do all of that. Is she gonna understand that? But she telling Roy she will because she may see the big picture, but all of a sudden she feeling some kind of way. These are the conversations, the uncomfortable conversations that we gotta have. Maybe this ain't a good time for us. Maybe everybody gotta do their thing. And like I say, when we talk, me and Roy have had these conversations, why it's easy using. And I've had a lot of these conversations with people because we fall into the trap of thinking something else when we ain't had a conversation with ourselves. What is it that we're really looking for? I'm looking for a good woman. Well, I wasn't looking for a good woman. I was looking for somebody to have fun with, have conversation with. Right now, I was a serial dater. When I find something that catches my attention, then I'll lock on to that. But I don't knock brothers who date individually. Everybody got to do what work for them. We can't keep telling people, oh, you got to date a woman who did this. Oh, you need a man who do this. No, you got to find out what works for you. And this is where you have to educate your own self and stop listening to the masses, because when they lead you astray, I can't blame Bobby for having me date a girl who Bobby thought was a good girl. Bobby's like, yo, D, I got this girl, man. She fine, she pretty, she all this, she all that. Bobby is using his metrics for that. He ain't using mine. What's up, Samuel? He ain't using mine. And too many times we let people tell us stuff through this whole age of misinformation, not understanding what I like or what I'm looking for, because sometimes you don't know what you like or what you're looking for. They say to get something different, you got to do something different. We don't know that sometimes. So when we're doing these things, education is paramount. Self-education is mucho importante. But most of us don't know who we are, and we get sidetracked. Because once you know who you are and what you want, everything else becomes simple and easy. Once you know, my man Travis, open to new information. Open to new information. Travis outspoken. He got a show to come on Tuesday, y'all, where he talk about different things. Travis, put name your show in here again, because right now it slipped my mind. But this brother invited me to his show. I think he was ready to fuss with me, but I like to give out facts and I like to tell you where to go. And and it's funny because Travis is a smart brother. Travis is a smart brother, but Travis didn't look up something that he heard, and he was stuck on it until I said, no, Travis is wrong. And then somebody from his smart audience put it there. And Travis like, damn, I didn't even know that. See, but what Travis did was being a grown man. He admitted he didn't know something, changed his course of action as opposed to trying to defend his not knowing. You know, when you're ignorant, ignorance means you have no knowledge. It don't mean you're stupid. It just means you don't know. It's okay to be ignorant, but once you find out that you're ignorant of something, accept that fact and move on. And sometimes this means you got to have uncomfortable conversation. Communications is a major issue. I'm gonna get to you, Antoinette. I ain't gonna skip your question. Communication is a major issue. And Bobby, this is one of the things I always say, not communication, honest communication, because lying is communicating. And too many times we get caught up in lying to appease other people that nobody's ever getting effective, honest communication, because we just saying things that we either think people want to hear or that we don't want to admit out loud. See, Antoinette asked, can a friend talk you out of a potential relationship? Me, no, but we know it happens because people like to throw salt or shade in the game, or sometimes they can be telling the truth and you're ashamed about that truth that you don't want to acknowledge because you don't know who you are. And we do too many things to keep everybody else happy. So the same way a friend can talk us out of a potential relationship, friends have kept us in bad relationships because I'm gonna use one of my ex-wives. I had an ex-wife, very attractive, very nice body. When things were going bad, one of my friends said, man, you crazy, I would never leave her. Why would I stay in this relationship? Because that's what he thinks. Yeah. Visually, she got everything going. But there was nothing beyond that. But hey, we know lots of people just want trophy wives. So for the guy who is looking for a trophy wife, she would have been the perfect person. For this guy, that wasn't a good option. So when we start listening to friends talk us out of something, and so I'm gonna tell you, I like women with kids. I love women with kids. I love kids. I'm scared of pregnant women. I made that clear to every woman I ever dated, because I don't want you to start thinking about having children on me. I am definitely, well, not anymore. I was definitely afraid of pregnant women. I would rather be in a shootout with a slingshot than be with a pregnant woman. They made me nervous. I couldn't breathe. I would start sweating. It's actually a phobia for it. And I had it in spades. So me and my wife were having a little issue. One of her friends told her to get pregnant, and that would make us closer. So guess what she did? She stopped taking birth control and got pregnant. And guess what that did? It drove us so far away, because pregnant women need more attention than most. From what I've heard, because this is the first truly pregnant woman I ever had to be around. Because if you were pregnant, I just kind of kept my space. You were the plague. She got pregnant. Roy got 3 kids. Roy, are pregnant women needy as far as attention and caring and compassion and touch?
That would be a affirmative, Ghost Rider.
So now you're pregnant. Your husband is afraid of pregnant women. So guess what that means? Her husband ain't gonna be doing. Side note, I hear that pregnant women stay extremely horny. Well, I'm not having sex with a pregnant woman. I'm terrified. I'm not hugging a pregnant woman. I'm terrified. I don't want to talk and make small talk because we got to be too close. I am terrified. If but her friend told her this. Her friend effectively helped. She was a stumbling block on our relationship. Because she said, well, my friend told me if I had a baby, all men want to have, well, there you go with that all man shit. Your man told you what he does not want, and you gonna let a stranger tell you what I do want? And again, see, this is one of the things I've always been upfront about. But we don't want to have these uncomfortable conversations because, hey, some guys want to be a dad. I was cool with being a bonus dad. I talked to my mother. She was in the church. She had a bunch of grandkids. She wouldn't sweat me about having one for her. I mean, for her, I would have done it. I would have bit my tongue and did it. But, you know, that wasn't what I wanted. I was cool with dating women who had kids and stepping up and doing that thing. That was the life I came from. That's why this whole single mother narrative, that's a whole nother show, is done. So, but this is what we have when we don't do the communication, when we just talk on fluff issues. You know, we don't know how to do it in relationships, whether they be sexual or business or friendly. Yeah, me and Roy have disagreed about lots of shit. We never start calling each other names, but when Roy asks me a question, he expects an honest answer out of me. When I ask him a question, I expect an honest answer. It don't have to be my answer. There's no answer I'm expecting from him other than his truth. Roy can't say, if I was you, this is what I would do. Because that's, to me, that's an ignorant statement. What Roy can say is, if I was in that position, this is what I would do. But he can't say, D, you ought to do this. And too many times when you run across some people who tell you what you ought to do, just ignore them, because you cannot judge a man or make decisions for him unless you walk the mile in his shoes. Roy likes dating with a purpose. DVP hates dating with a purpose. But I would never tell Roy, and I never told Roy to date a bunch of women. That's not who Roy is. Say it again. Oh, I'm hearing the echo.
Yeah, that's something coming from somewhere on your end.
And I don't know why, because I got my sound muted. So, but yeah, I don't tell Roy what to do. I tell Roy who I am and what I do. And Roy can make decisions about what to do from there. And that's what we do. What? I don't know where this is coming from, but it is agitating me. And it's coming through my headset. You sure they coming from over there, Roy? Can I mute my mic and still be heard?
I'm muted. I'll try to mute something else to see if it helps.
But yeah, that you have to do what works for you, but you gotta have honest communication with the people that you're dealing with, whether it's a potential spouse, whether it's a potential business partner, whether it's your kids. Honest communication is paramount to this situation. The only thing I'm gonna put above honest communication is knowing who you are. Me and Roy talked about know what your preferences and priorities are. What's important to you? Don't let somebody else come in there and tell you what's important to you. Oh, you need to get a man with money. Why? If you got your own money, maybe that ain't a priority. You know, one of the things Trina used to always say is she missed having conversation with people when she was in one of her relationships. The need for conversation is what made her start drifting away. Because as Antoinette said one thing, you know, we talk about 80, 20, 70, 30, whatever. If you like 80% of what somebody does and people say, well, that's enough. But if the 80% is just a bunch of your preferences and the 20 is your priority, the 80-20 split is not going to work because they don't give you anything that you need. And that's what we have to stop with some of these air quote, you know, deal things. You have to know what works for you. Do I require a woman that cooks? I don't even eat a lot. But when I had my son with me, yeah, I need a woman to cook because he needs to eat. I want somebody to teach him all the things that I missed because I was a workaholic. Roy cooks. Is the need for Roy's woman to cook a high priority for him? I don't know. See, he cooked. Who knows? From my understanding, Roy needs a woman who has more patience and who is okay with being alone for extended periods of time right now. We had that in common because when I was traveling, I couldn't be the one who needed a lot of my time. I wasn't here a lot of time. So that was something that we need to talk about. Are you okay with this? Some women, when they get in relationships, they're really needed. Some are cool with everybody having their own space. You know, this is one of them things that you have to do. And again, as we go back into making up words and creating false narratives, we have to stop with these fake titles to make us feel better. Oh, I'm a king. A king of what? Kings throughout history, in the Bible, in Africa, in Jerusalem, in Haiti, in England, wherever you look, kings are ruthless people. Oh, I'm talking about the good parts. Yeah, we want to take the good parts out, but we want to use that same title. There's no king who didn't have ruthlessness to him. Check it out and give me one. Give me one. We want to be alpha males. It sounds so cute because we watch TV and we see the Discovery Channel. Look at that wolf that wolf is protecting his property. The lion, which everybody, all these dudes want to compare themselves to. And I said, I'm gonna keep saying it because now I'm informed. The lion, the male lion, he eats first, he feeds himself. He ain't killing for the pride, he killing for himself. He will eat till he's full. That ain't what the mother lion do. He keeps the woman around to have sex with her. See, an alpha male and a pimp, they like this. They're selfish. But we like the term, oh, I'm an alpha male, I run shit. The fact that you need to huff and puff, it shows that you truly are, but you're not a family man unless a woman is truly on that submissive /slave / she don't want a real alpha man. She wants this simp that y'all done redefined. Most women want a simp based on the new blood connection. Antoinette want a man that's gonna spoil her. Antoinette wants a man who's gonna look after her. She want that. Now there's some women who don't. Antoinette ain't one of them. Would you recommend therapy for someone who struggles with intimate relations or a serial dater? I don't know what therapy would do about me being a serial dater. And I'm not sure why they would, what the therapy is supposed to do. But I ain't never been to one. If they think it's gonna help them, I would say by all means. But what we gotta look at sometimes, just like me being a serial dater. I was a serial dater because I didn't find out what I wanted to be serious about. So I wasn't gonna waste my time on one person. What was the therapist gonna tell me? Oh, you scared of commitment? No, I'm not scared of commitment. What I'm scared of is committing to the wrong person because I'm letting them lock down and wasting too much of my time. See, because I don't need to see nobody every day. Until we make that official move, I don't need to see you every day. You don't need to see me every day. Go out, do your thing, cream rise to the top. If you hang out with Joe, Hank, Bobby, Roy, and Travis, and Samuel, and you know you still fiending me, see, now you process of elimination, you know you're making a good choice. In my world, too many people think about all the things they passed up while giving somebody their time. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm gonna date and date and date and date and date. And then whoever it is that keeps creeping back in my mind, I start giving them more time, thereby decreasing time for others. That is what works for me. But some people, you know, I've heard Roy say he likes to get to know a woman. He wants this, he wants that. And I hear him. That works for Roy. I don't tell Roy he should try this. Roy never told me I should try that. We are different people. And this is where we have to understand that because somebody said it worked for them, it's a tool to put in your tool belt. If you want to try something different, then you try it. But if not, working, no. Again.
So let me jump in.
Go ahead, sir.
So yeah, I actually want to jump in on that particular part to make a statement of it, because like this is one of the, as we talk about, you know, when we have a lot of things that we have in common, but we do have a lot of differences as well. And one of the things that I always say about the dating process, now there, so, and let me be clear, when I say dating, I'm talking about being somewhat committed to somebody where it's just two of you dating and y'all have come to an official agreement. But even in the stage where you're saying, you know, I really want to get to know you, I have the belief that when you do that, you are inherently going to be comparative in your evaluation of those people. And the statement that I use is that you should always deal with relationships comprehensively and not comparatively. And that's why I have that philosophy of not seriously dating more than one person at a time. Because in my mind, you're going to compare so-and-so is doing this, but you know, Jennifer doing this and Stacy doing this. But Beverly doing these two things that neither one of them is doing. As opposed to just saying, well, how does what Beverly doing impact me personally, just on the totality of it? Like you said, Beverly rising to the top, because when I'm with Stephanie and Cheryl, I'm still thinking about Beverly. So that's why I said that's why that was always a point of reference to me with that. But that's how I think, like you said.
Right. And that's a good way of looking at it. Whereas, because that's what a lot of people do. I never compared them to what they did. I compared how I felt around them. That was my metric. Who am I feeling most comfortable with? One of the biggest things, and we're not gonna get a whole lot in this. One of my biggest things is who makes me most comfortable doing nothing. Well, I ain't gotta be out in the street. Well, I ain't gotta be trying to entertain them. That's a priority for me. Who makes me feel that like that?
Yes, sir.
Because you know, yeah, it's true. What one won't do, one will do. But just because you'll do something, won't, you know, we'll just take sex. We're grown. Just because you'll do a sex act that somebody else won't, that's not gonna push you to the top. It's not gonna push you to, yeah, you did it, and I'm cool with it. And that's how a lot of men and women both get caught up in the system. Oh, I did this, I did that. And that was on you. Because I ain't got no requirements for you. I want you to be you. You know, one of the things I used to always say is, don't ever tell nobody what you want in a relationship. That way they can't act. If a woman told me what it took to get something, all she doing is she's daring me to do what she just said. I don't have to have any emotional attachment or any heart into what I'm doing. She just told me, if you want to have sex with me, you have to go to church with me. You have to take me to church chicken twice. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to go to church chicken. I'm going to spend 90 minutes in the building I want to be in just to get the goodies and I'm out. Because she ain't never said about she wanted a good man. She had all these other requirements. None of them involved in being a good man. They involve 2 hours of my time to get something. If you don't tell people what you want, and I think this is where me and Roy have a slight shift. If you don't tell people what they want, they can't play a role because you ain't told them what the position is open. You know, Roy likes to tell people what he's dating for. Again, we have to do what works for us. And like I said, for me, I never compared what Antoinette does versus what Trina does versus what Kim does versus what Lisa does. I'm only comparing who makes me feel a certain way. Who is it that when I'm around them, I can feel the tension release from my shoulders. Who is it when I'm around them? We cool just running fingers through hair and doing nothing. Not who's the best cook, not who's the best in bed, not who makes the most money. Those are to me, those are really superficial things to me. Now, if that's what's on your priority list, that's what you got to go with. And that's where we run into the problem because everybody wants somebody to pick what they want. You know, oh, you get a thick woman for this. If you like thick women, pick thick women, but don't tell me I should pick one because thick women do something different than, again, we're talking superficial. And a lot of people make superficial choices, again, because of our lack of education and our being ignorant about what we want out of a relationship. One of the things that's most important to me is knowing who you are and how you got to be that way. Whenever I see people say, oh, you got to let the past be the past. Well, if I don't know who you were, I don't know why you're making decisions you make now. So for me, your past is very important. And if we're going to be a couple, this ain't none of the shit we do at the beginning of the ladies. So let me say that. This is after we've made these choices that now we're going to enter an official relationship. Okay. So when we start there, then yeah, because now I'm looking at you as a forever person. We need to start having conversations. Don't need none of your deep, darkest secrets just yet. But when people start telling a lie about they want to marry their best friend, their soulmate, how can you have a soulmate or best friend that you don't know nothing about them before they turn 30 or nothing about them when they were in high school or nothing? That's just pure BS. Roy, do you have issues with well-paid or invested women? Do you believe in prenups? That's what Antoinette wants to know.
Wait, roll up. I missed that. Hold on. Let me see if I see the question. Hold on. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm looking for the question. I'm gonna take a look.
Yeah, I had, and Antoinette, an actor can act. Some of them can act for 2-3 years at a time, depending on what they want. So it's just one of the things that you have to understand who you are. Go ahead. You ready, Roy? Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, would I have a problem? Not at all. I'm a man. Look, when I got divorced, I literally left everything with my wife. It wasn't even a discussion. I left everything with her, and I'm like, because I can start over. Having to get back to the level that I am or that I was at is not an issue for me because I can do it. But no, I don't have to take anything from her. If she want to do a prenup, that's fine. I don't have no problem with a prenup. If she's well established and has her things in place that she wants to do, not in the least little bit. Just know what we create together, we gonna split up. But outside of that, she walk away with what she had, and I walk away with what I had when we came in. Now I'm curious to know why she wanted to ask that question, so she need to answer that one.
Antoinette, I want to know why you asked that. Me and 2 of my neighbors are well invested and professional. We all 3 have a hard time dating. And see, sometimes to me, that's one of the things that you got to keep to yourself initially and get to know a person. And once this is strictly for me, once you're there, you let them know. See, I ain't rich, but I'm decent with money. But I don't lead with my money. Either you like my charm or my personality, because I'm sarcastic as hell, I got a foul mouth, and I like to talk a lot of trash. If you're not cool with those things, then my money ain't gonna matter. But I'm not gonna lead with my money because I need you to like the person first, which is why I used to tell people I believe in going on cheap dates. Cheap dates can be fun. You just have to put energy into them. I tell you, going to a park, sitting around talking, going, if they claim like go to B. Dalton or whatever it is, read a book together and just talk about the book. Let me see where your head is. Let me see where your mind is. I went on a date because I wanted to try something different. And this chick wanted to know about my 401k. You got to be shitting me. Well, I just need to know before I get involved with a man what kind of future he's looking at. You got to be shitting me. We ain't even kissed. We ain't even held hands. That's way too much information. See, for me, a first date, the primary purpose of a first date is to see if I want a second date. No more, no less. No more, no less for this guy. As we move up these date ladders, every time I'm adding something to the equation. And it ain't just to see if we can have another. Again, it's how do I feel when I'm with you? How do you treat other people when I'm with you? How do you talk on the phone? I need to see you in a natural setting when you don't feel the need to put up airs. See, I could say, let's go to this party. You're gonna dress up for the party. You may or may not show out. I don't want to put you to the test right now and see you get drunk and see how you act. Speaking of drunk and get act, there was a girl I actually liked once upon a time. She asked me to come see her at a karaoke bar. I worked late, I got off. She's there with her family. They drinking. She drinking way too much. She fall out of the chair. Not a big deal. I seen people, when you've been drinking, sometimes you depth perception goes. And then she getting loud and rowdy. And that one incident dropped her out. Because she ain't 20, she ain't 30, she 40-ish. You can't handle your liquor. To me, that was a problem. To me, yes, it was a deal breaker for us being in a relationship. Could we still sleep together? Absolutely. But When something better came along, she lost her sex spot because sex is okay. I like it. But when I start narrowing choices down, sex is not going to get you to stay in the box longer. I've dated women longer who I kept women around longer who I had great conversation with versus great sex. Because great sex is a mindset. And when a man is being a man, it's his job to push the envelope to make her feel more secure, to make the sex a little bit better, in my opinion. In my opinion. Women will do things when they feel safe and secure. Money doesn't always give you that. They want to know that you're not going to judge them. Most of the people who know me know I ain't judgmental. I'm going to talk a lot of trash. I'm going to talk a lot of shit. This you got to know. But most of the time I'm talking shit, it's in playful fun. But you got to see that. If you're so serious all the time that you miss it, then I know. For me, that's a priority. A woman has to have a sense of humor. She has to understand sarcasm and wit, which is way different than comedy. Because if you're not smart, you won't get sarcasm or wit. That's a priority check that you got to complete for me. Because sometimes, like I say, you got to be with me. I'm there sometimes. And yeah, the cheap dates are not so much about imagination. It's about spending, for me, it's about spending quality time. We can't spend quality time going to a movie because we got to be quiet. Yeah, I get to see if you got a soft hand. I get to be a little bit closer with this big ass armrest, and I guess you can move them up now. But to me, that's not quality time, because it's almost, for me, in a position, if we ain't at the point where we can kiss and touch each other inappropriately, then a movie is the worst place to go, because the movie, for me, requires that we be a little bit closer. So to me, it's an awful first date. Going to a concert, awful first date. It's noise. We're not getting to know each other. That's when you're spending money, but that's when you're talking about, I mean, how many women will turn down a chance to go see Maxwell? So if I meet someone and say, yo, I got Maxwell tickets, I'll say she want to go to the Maxwell concert or the Prince, whoever it is. But all she know now is I got money for these concerts that are expensive. I'm flashing money. Now I'm mad that she using me for my money, but that's what I led with. I didn't give her something simple to see if we get to know each other. Let's meet at Starbucks. Let's meet at Baskin Robbins. Let's meet somewhere where it's just casual. For me, first date shouldn't last no more than 2 hours. That way ain't nobody pushing the envelope too much. At 2 hours, shit, when you leave, if you want more, that's a good thing. You want that second date. But anybody who's been on a horrible date know that 2 hours take way too long to get there. But if you already got a plan, it makes it a little bit easier. And I like to have plans so that I can get there and know what I want to do. Now, once we get to the point where we can laugh and we get each other's sense of humor, and you don't mind a kiss here, now we can start talking about movies. Now we can start talking about little things that are a little more intimate and setting. But I don't want to have a romantic dinner with the first date. To me, it's putting too much pressure on everybody. I mean, and we all have to make our own choices. Sometimes you know when you meet a woman where you're already at. The first couple of conversations may put y'all at a different point. First day with Trina, I wanted to go to an Italian restaurant and have dinner by candlelight. But we had talked on the phone for 2, 3, 4 months. And because I was going to New York, I knew I was staying in a hotel room. I didn't want to invite her in a hotel room and think I was trying to have sex with her. I didn't want that to be the connotation, even though it wasn't. If she brings something to the hotel and we stay there, I mean, what can you really do in a hotel room? It's almost like saying, hey, I got a room, come see me. When you go to a hotel room, if we're honest, and not these prudish people who got all these crazy ass things, why do you invite somebody to the hotel room? I mean, every hotel I've been to had a TV in the lobby. If we just want to watch TV, we can go to the lobby. In most hotel rooms, there's a bed, There's a bathroom and there may be a desk. So every now and then there's a chair. So how do you guys sit close to each other? You got to be on the bed. For me, that's not a wise move unless I strictly wanted to be about sex. For me. Well, what's your thoughts on that? Thank you, Bobby.
As far as what part? The dating at taking somebody to a hotel?
Yeah. Well, how you date? I know you like 2 for 20.
Wait, you say I like who?
2 for 20.
Chili. I love Chili's. Yeah, I'll go sit down at Chili's. Yeah, exactly. I'll go sit down at the Chili's because it gives, again, like I said, the same thing that you did. One, I like to eat. And so I like to go places where we can have a conversation. And I like to see how people, one of the other things about it, honestly, is it gives you the opportunity to see how people react around other people. How do they interact and deal with, gives you a chance to see how women interact and how they deal with servers, how their attitude is in a certain space and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I love to go places where we can sit and have conversations. That has to be the big thing for me. But I like to see that interaction around people as opposed to even doing the more quiet places and stuff like that. Just because of the fact that, like, it's like I'm usually around a lot of people. So we'll get to the point that we figure out that we really we enjoy each other's company from that perspective. Then we can do more quiet, intimate things because then it's about cultivating the vibe that we already felt. So, but yeah, not regular.
Like I said, Roy cooks. So why would he invite a woman over to his house on a first date? And some people got no problems with that. For me, I would. And hell, even when I dated, I didn't like women coming over to my house. I didn't want you knowing why I stayed until we had a firm understanding. And it sucks because I come from a different breed. When I was coming up, you were supposed to pick a woman up at her place and all the other stuff. And with this new breed of dude, they can't do that because dudes are stalkers and crazy. But yeah, I mean, I have no problem with now. Well, not now because I ain't dating, but I had no problem with the process of meeting a woman somewhere because you can't trust people. But yeah, call me when you get home. But there's just certain things that a first date shouldn't encompass unless we've had plenty of conversation. Now, phone conversation can override a lot of things that would normally go into play. Like I said, me and Trina talked quite a while. So our first date lasted way too long. But it technically, because we've been on the phone 3-4 months, it was not a big deal. We had a lot of conversation. We knew we knew there was a vibe, which was actually cool because we didn't get a lot of visual time. So we knew that we were doing the sapiosexual thing. But like I said, even when I was here, and I think me and Roy started off dating differently because, dating, hanging out, for me, it's all the same thing. But when I'm just generically dating, it is what it is. When I start skimming off the top and narrowing my choices down, and then I change from dating to relationship, then but these dates, they offer conversation. And sometimes I lead the conversation. And this is one of those things I learned when I like to have uncomfortable conversations. Everybody ain't willing to talk about certain things. And, you got to figure what is off limits, and this is how you have these conversations, get to know each other. But I can't let Roy tell me what to do, because when they don't work, I'm gonna blame Roy, as opposed to blame me for listening to Roy. If I pick the wrong woman, I'm gonna blame Roy, because Roy said get the woman who does this. But that works for Roy. At some point, DVP got to figure out what works for DVP. And this is where the whole education of self, the knowledge of self, it's important. It's super important to know what I like versus what Roy like. Roy could, hell, I don't know how many blind dates Roy have been set up on, but I had friends who set me up on dates. And I'm just trying to figure out what were you thinking? But you picking somebody that you like. Oh, you're gonna like her, she cute. But it's a lot of fucking cute women and I don't like them. That is not it's a decent quality to have, but it ain't a winning quality. I mean, should I be dating all my life if all I'm looking for is cute? Well, she made good money. Well, that works too. If I needed her money, I don't. So, you know, what quality did she possess that you thought she was good for me? See, like I had a friend told me, he said, man, I got this girl, you're gonna like her. I said, why? He said, because she got a smart ass mouth. She is just, see, I was intrigued. I like a jazzy mouth girl, not a foul mouth girl, a jazzy mouth girl. I like for them to be able to come back with me and hit me with the shit. I like them little jabs. Oh, she ain't gonna bag now. I don't want that puppy. When I say something, when I tell a bad joke, she just busts out laughing. And it's like, that shit wasn't even that funny. When I have an uncomfortable conversation and she sit back and she like, damn, all right, let's talk about it. And we go there. You don't have to divulge secrets, but you should be able to have an uncomfortable conversation or three. Again, when we make this thing and we start swapping titles to where we're in a real relationship, why would I want to be in a relationship, a real relationship with somebody who is not my friend? That kind of makes no sense. If I'm gonna go with this narrative of I'm gonna marry my best friend, my soulmate, yada, 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 whatever it is you believe in. If Trina my best friend, absolutely not. I've only known Trina 5 years, maybe 6. To me, that would be disrespectful to my friends who I've been knowing for 20, 30, 40 years to say that in 6 years, somebody passed all of them. But we so concerned about telling everybody, oh, this is my best friend, my soulmate. And then in 2, 3 years, y'all gone. How did that happen? How many of us got best friends that we ain't talked to in 3, 4 years? They call, we're gonna pick up and the conversation gonna start like we just saw each other the day before yesterday. But I'm in a relationship with somebody I can't have no conversation with because of how they feel. Bro, when you talk to your best friends, do you really worry about how they feel about what you're saying?
Not at least
damn. Don't you tell your best friend when they got a booger hanging? Don't you tell your best friend when they got a booger hanging out their nose?
Every time.
You tell your best friend when they clothes don't. You tell your best friend when their clothes don't match. If your best friend say, "Hey, do I look fat in this?" You be like, "Yep." Why be with a woman that you can't say the same shit to? Well, I don't want to hurt her feelings. Well, then she can't be your best friend because best friends hurt each other's feelings all the time. You know what to do? You laugh about that shit and you keep moving. And you be like, yeah, okay, so-and-so and thing. They're going to keep it real. That's how they got to be your best friend. But you don't want this from your partner. Make that shit make sense. But we'll let people tell us what we should be looking for. That's the insanity of it all. And we create these titles. Men hollering, I'm an alpha male. Women hollering that they want an alpha male. Women hollering they're queen. And I hate when people say they know their worth. You only worth what the market will pay for you. And ain't nobody paying for themselves. So you can value yourself to the highest depths. According to the way some of us have valued ourselves, can't nobody afford us. You work what the market will. You work what the market willing to pay. So even though you think you should be flying to Paris every weekend to get dinner, who doing that? You ain't doing it. And that way thing go. How is it that you think I should be doing something for you that you can't do for yourself? So you can't afford to go all these places, but you think I should be able to take you there. I'm worth it. If you was worth it, you go. You may want to be worth it, but you're not worth it. And do we settle? Everybody settles, but settling is a good thing. We gotta quit acting like it's a bad thing. I want chicken, I don't know if I want shrimp, I don't know if I want hot dog. You know what he's gonna do? He gonna settle for one of them and eat and be full. Settling is not bad. It's all right. I said I want chicken. I forgot what I said. We're gonna say chicken, fish, or hot dog. So when he had to eat a can of corn, see, that's the wrong kind of settling. Now he just had to take what he got. Then he ain't worth what he say he think he is. This is what we have to be honest with ourselves. Are you worth realistic what you say you worth? What are you bringing to the table other than your love and commitment and yada, 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 to determine your worth? What are you bringing? Oh, I'm worth $1 million. Yeah, okay. But you ain't got but one bank account that's overdrawn. So who told you you was worth $1 million? Stop the madness. Let's stop with these fake titles and get back to being real and being honest and looking for relationships. Let's give up the battle of the sexes. Let's stop talking about why women ain't shit. Let's stop talking about all men being dogs. Let's talk about the bad choices that we keep making and we don't want to own up to them. So we're going to blame somebody else so that we're free from blame. Roy has dated the wrong woman before. DVP has dated the wrong woman before. Roy, put your mic on, sir. I'm gonna put him on trial. Mr. Evans.
Yeah.
I'm the attorney now. All right, Mr. Evans. Have you
Yes,
have you ever dated the wrong woman before, sir?
In my opinion, well, it depends on. I've never been committed to the wrong one. Have I gone?
Judge, can you tell the witness answer yes or no? Judge, can you tell the witness answer yes or no?
That don't work that way, but yeah. So we'll say yes for the argument's sake.
And when you this woman that you went on this date with, that did you pick her, or did she draft you and put a gun in your head and make you take her?
I chose to go out with her.
So when you chose to go out with her, whose fault was it that y'all went out? Yours, right? It ain't her fault for not being able to hold up the standard. And this is all I'm saying. At some point, ladies, when you date the wrong man because he presented something, and rather than saying it because we on social media together, everybody know the streets, everybody can't be played. So how we keep picking the wrong people? And then blame it on them. How long you been divorced, Roy?
Good God, 2008 to 12. What's that?
Okay, so you've been, yeah, you've been divorced more than a decade. So sometimes when we pick these wrong people, we might have picked them for good reasons, or we might have had selfish reasons. It doesn't matter. We pick them. And ladies, just like I tell the fellas, they got to take accountability and responsibility for going out with the wrong woman. Ladies, you got to take responsibility for going out with the wrong man. Ain't no blaming the other one. Why did you pick this guy? Oh, I thought he was this. Because most of the time, I'm going to say about 80% of the time, the clues were there that this person wasn't who we wanted them to be. But dudes ain't no different from women. They will lie to themselves for somebody that they think they want to date. Yeah, anybody got to lie to them. They'll lie for themselves. You had something to say, Ron?
Nope, you're right.
Oh, I thought I heard. So when we look in retrospect, because most time everybody saw these clues at the beginning, very few of these clues came later on. Now, as Antoinette said, there are some of these people who are great actors. They've been practicing their craft longer than we know about, and we don't see it till late. But most time, it ain't red flags that we ignored. Sometimes we just blew through full-fledged stop signs. Women think they can change men. Men think they can change women. See, this ain't a battle of the sexes. Both of them make the same irrational, illogical, emotional decisions and claim to be critical thinkers. Because they don't want to own up to them making a mistake, which is why they can do it repeatedly. Because until you accept your role in the fair of the relationship, and I do put more of it on fellas, because I see more fellas claiming to want submission. They want somebody to follow them. So why'd you pick this badass army? I do blame the fellas more than I blame the women, because I don't hear women demanding submission. I don't hear women clamoring to lead. Most women want to just be women. So yeah, I do put more of this on that, simply because of what they put out there. Roy can't want to be the chief executive officer and all these other good titles for my JBN, but he can't make no decision. Because when the decision is made, everybody's gonna look at him. You the head. Oh, well, let me check. Dude, you the head. So then when we overthrow the government, Rock like, oh, I did. But when it came time to make a decision, well, you didn't want to make one. I ain't know I had to do all that. But you wanted all that. You wanted this big network. You wanted this. Now it's time. You're slipping. Antonio won't know how long you dated the wrong woman, Roy.
Oh, we went out on through 3 days. Well, you know, that's the story. The one I say is the wrong woman is the story I told about the fact, you know, mind you, this is when I was doing the stuff at Barley's and doing the stuff with the company.
Okay.
Met the young lady, you know, we had gone out like 3 or 4, well, no, we had went out at least 4 times. And, you know, we talked about this, and it was never a situation of leading with money. But, you know, we gentlemen, so we pay for dates and whatnot. And, but I was on a very strict budget at the time. And so I had an entertainment budget that I set aside on a weekly basis for money that I was going to spend. Well, this particular week, my daughter called me because she needed something for my grandson for his after school program. And so, you know, I called the young lady. We had been scheduled, and again, all we was doing was going to the Chili's, you know, 2 for $25 at the time. And I told her, I said, well, listen, you know, my daughter called and needs something for my grandson, so I'm not going to have any extra money this week. I had to use my entertainment money to send to my daughter. And of course, you know, my expectation was one of 2 things. Either she was at this point going to be like, okay, cool, I got it. Or that's fine. We really don't have to do nothing. We got to spend no money. Let's still get together. Well, she completely did something that was unexpected and said, well, the next time, you know, when we get your money back, you can give me a call back and we can get together again. Needless to say, she never got a call back from me. She ended up calling me back like 3 weeks later, like, yeah, I hadn't heard from you. And I was like, yeah, and if you hadn't figured out why, there's really no need for us to have a conversation. So, you know, but yeah, so I realized that after after the 5th date that didn't happen, I realized she was the wrong person.
And most of us ignore them signs because of something physical, of something dopamine that goes in our head that we want to continue on, and then we get mad. See, Roy could have went on ahead with another date with her. I'm sure she was attractive. I'm sure she had some outstanding qualities. And if Roy would have went on another date with her and these qualities got worse and worse and worse, Roy couldn't blame her. She had already showed Roy who she was. I like you as long as you can take me out to eat. See, he saw that. Full-fledged stop sign, unless he wants to be the guy that keeps taking her out to eat. They show you these things. And that's why I say, you know, I'm a big fan of who can I do nothing with and be okay with that. That is such a peaceful moment in life. I can do absolutely nothing. You know, Roy can be dating this woman, and let's just say, you know, he come over, he like, baby, give me a few minutes, I need to finish this up. And all of a sudden she start rubbing on his shoulders, trying to get the tension out. See, that's a teammate. But she's sitting there clicking the TV, popping gone, raising the TV loud where you can't think and shit. She ain't a teammate. Oh, I just thought she was hard of hearing. Oh, I thought she was trying to give me a clue to hurry up. Those are red flags. She know you working. Trina know when I gotta work. And there are times when I know she wants to do something. Well, we want to get these bills paid. Guess what Trina gonna do? She gonna make sure I do what it takes to get these bills paid first. And then we're gonna go there. She gonna say, hey, can I help you? Because we want to speed up the process. But as opposed to rushing me, she gonna try to help me. See, we call them teammates. Teamwork make the dream work, not rushing me. These are the little things you gotta look for. And when they give you the clues that they ain't the one, stop giving them excuses. It ain't a sexist thing. Men do it, women do it. Quit giving them excuses. Sometimes you gotta just hit the tail of Pendergrass. I think I better let it go. It's a lust TKO. You want to see them naked so bad that you're willing to sacrifice. Hey, and if that's your end game, do what you got to do. But if it ain't, don't blame them for the consequences. Blame you. So, you know, but let's start with these fake titles. Let's ditch King. Let's dump Simp. Let's dump this whole, listen, She just dump all these bullshit titles. Antoinette has a name. Call her Antoinette. If she likes, she may let you call her Tony. Yeah, she may like Net. Who knows? It ain't for me to call Antoinette queen. She's not my queen. It ain't for me to call Roy king. I just don't like the word. Because we say it, and I'm not sure where we got it from. There were way more warriors and paupers than there were kings. So why is it we want to make everybody a king or a queen? I understand you want to build people up, but we call that a lie and false narrative. That's what we call it until we building people up. No. Again, this guy. Do what you want to. But if Roy called every man he meet king or every woman he meet queen, then what's the specialty of the word? Where's the respect then if that's what you say to everybody? You just elevate them to a, see, I'm polite. I like to say sir and ma'am. But I'm not calling nobody king and queen. It does a word. If Roy calls his woman beautiful and they go out and he called every other woman beautiful, she ain't feeling the same way no more. Some things got to be reserved so that they still have meaning. Why do people start saying, oh, that ain't my friend, that's my associate? Because we devalue the word of, we start devaluing friendships. Everybody a friend? Good Lord. Everybody? Then ask your friend for shit then. Since you got so many friends, let the value stay in words. Give people their true thing. I know lots of people. I know lots of people. I'm cool with lots of people. They're not all my friends. I got some cool ass clients. They are clients. That's all I can say. Can't make them be no more, no less. I dated some great women. Great. They were just not for me. They were Miss Right, not Miss Right. I mean, they were Miss Right now, not Miss Right. For a lot of women, I was Mr. Right now, not Mr. Right. Ain't no harm in that. Educate yourself, learn more about you, learn more about the different aspects of the sex that you're trying to date or get to know better. Roy can't date one woman and think he know about all 200,000 different types of women that there are. DVP can't do it. Antoinette can't do it. The more you date, the better you get at the dating game and you get to know people. You get to understand why some people do this, why some people do that. Then you become better at what you do. Then you can become better for somebody else because you have a better understanding. Then you educate yourself. You don't have to read a book. You got on-the-job training. Some women like 2 for 20. Shit, some women gonna like 2 for 12. Some women ain't gonna mind cooking on the first date. Some women ain't gonna mind going to Royal House and eat on the first date. They're adult enough to handle themselves. And if the conversation is right, it may be perfectly appropriate. If Roy was to run across one of his friends from high school or college girl that had a crush on him and they've been knowing each other for 20, 30 years, and it's, hey, I'm gonna come over and get something to eat. That ain't a big deal, but it ain't like y'all don't have no history. Roy shouldn't meet no woman at the red light and invite her to his house. But again, it's DVP standard. What Roy do is what Roy do.
So I shouldn't have done that before?
Say it again?
I said, so I shouldn't have done that before?
I ain't, because we all done shit we shouldn't have done and got away with it. And those are the experiences that we have to value and put in the toolbox. You know, people say, oh, what is sex on the first date? You know what sex on the first date is? It's sex on the first date. It's what, hopefully it's what two consenting adults gave for. It don't, the only time to me sex on the first date is a problem is if you knew that one of y'all didn't want to do it. But it ain't no different than going to Burger King. If you want a Whopper, where you supposed to go to get a Whopper? Burger King. And if you just want sex and she just wants sex, where y'all supposed to go? To each other. It is what it is. As long as wasn't nobody forced to do it, wasn't nobody tricked into it, tap on. Enjoy life's little experiences and build upon them. Increase your knowledge base. Have fun. We ain't gonna be attractive forever. Have fun now. As my friend Omega said, Rob, would you rather date a woman who done went through her whole phase and rather settle down, or would you rather date a woman who ain't done nothing and after y'all been together, she gonna realize she missed out on some shit? Which one would you rather date? And
well, I've always said I want to date someone who's been through some stuff, so that's a simple one for me.
And a lot of guys don't want to date a woman who's been through that. And as you look through life, you're gonna see a lot of women regret it, and a lot of older women who were the good girls early, they don't like hearing all these stories about what these other women did. And again, you got to know who you are and what you like. Everybody don't have the same thought process. Find somebody whose thought process matches yours. Y'all got some of the same things in common, but y'all can still teach each other something. Y'all can still learn from each other. So that's all I'm saying. It's 7:55. I ain't ate yet. I was working late. So I'm gonna do my thing. I hope y'all, what I need for y'all to do, Antoinette, Doug, Travis, Bobby, Sam, hey man, invite your friends to like the page. Invite them to come to a show. Send me some topics y'all want me to talk about. Because you know I like having uncomfortable conversations. I like doing what we do. I like holding people accountable and responsible. And sometimes it's hard looking in the mirror and say, damn, I made a mistake. That's one of the biggest steps of being grown. It's like, damn, I messed that up. That was me. And keep moving. A lot of adults can't say that, but we can find everybody else whose fault it is. On that note, I'm gonna say this. I still ain't mad I voted for Biden. If I had to do all over again, I would still vote for him. Ain't nothing he gonna do to make me think I should have voted for somebody else, because I know who else was running. So for those of y'all who like to say, oh, look at what you got. Oh no, look at what I had. If keeping that was my choice, I wouldn't have wanted to do it. Man, I did. So, Roy, you got anything you want to show them about my JBN before we leave? Because I'm sure we're going to be changing this soon and doing some studio shit. But anything you want to tell them, Roy?
Not yet, man. We working on it. We getting this thing together. Hopefully within the next, anywhere between 30 to 60 days, we looking to be somewhere. Get ready to start back doing some different things, some more live in-person stuff, and a little bit more engaging. We're going to finally get this system set up so we can start back taking phone calls again.
Oh, he took a shot at me.
So, I'm just like, because we getting other things set up just so it'll be easier for everybody. It's not just you.
I got you. I like to talk trash. So y'all know what it is. I appreciate y'all joining me. Bobby, it was good meeting you, brother. Sam, you're going to quit dodging me and be on the show, man. You're going to quit dodging me. Bob, you got something you want me to talk about, man, inbox me. Shoot me a text. You want to be on the show, let me know. Let me know what you're passionate about. But by all means, follow the page. Get your friends to come like the page, follow the page. It's free and easy to support me. I just need you to click on some things. Roy didn't tell y'all this because, I guess he being humble right now, but he got an app in the App Store, my JBN. You can go download it. Help the brother out. It's free to download, right, Roy?
Yes, it is. You can also check out old episodes of Random Thoughts with DVP. You can see how long he's been doing this craziness.
What? Craziness?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, let's do this. Like I said, I appreciate y'all spending a little time with me. And together we're gonna get there. Slowly but surely. All right. Y'all keep pushing me, I'm gonna keep pushing y'all. So up until next week, y'all know what it is. Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. And we out.